Hey guys, it's Jeff here. I want to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving. I'd like to apologize. I wanted to have this story out last night for you guys. Um, Last night was very traumatic for my family. We were staying in a fairly well-known hotel chain, and my wife and I had to take our 10-year-old daughter to the hospital. She almost lost both of her toes in a very, very crazy accident. Her foot got stuck under a metal door, and um, we had to take her to the hospital, and she got a multitude of stitches. And we had Thanksgiving dinner prior to that, but after that, everything went to crap. So first and foremost, I want to apologize. Second, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to me or has not and listened to my stories. If you're listening, please subscribe and please comment and give me a thumbs up. Helps out a lot. My daughter is okay. Just for those who are wondering, she's on crutches. She's a 10-year-old little angel, and it was so hard to see her like this, or like that, excuse me. But back to the nitty-gritty here. I have two true accounts of Dogman encounters that happened in upstate New York. I am from upstate New York. I grew up in the Adirondacks, which is upstate New York. And so these stories kind of hit home. I've seen a lot of crazy things. As some people might know, there was a show, Hunting for Bigfoot, which was filmed in Whitehall, New York, which is literally 15 minutes from my hometown. So I have a lot of very cryptid, weird things around my area. I live in the Hudson River area. Just a lot of odd things happen where I live. So I've got these two really awesome Dogman encounters I'd like to share with you, and I hope you guys enjoy them. I hope everybody's Thanksgiving was great, and I hope everybody had a very, very good time with family. And if not, maybe next year, or whatever. I hope I'll have a story out for you next year so you guys can enjoy it. But thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much this means to me. So, and with this, let's get started. First encounter, Tioga County, New York. It was later in the evening when I was driving back to my in-laws' house. By myself, I was going down a dirt road. I saw something in the ditch up ahead and on the right. I didn't really know what it was until I got right up enough so my headlights could catch it. I didn't know anything about the Dogman until a couple of years ago. This thing had the outline of a huge dog, but when I got closer, it turned and looked at me. I just floored it. It didn't really bother me until I noticed it looked at me, and I saw that it was actually grasping what it was eating. I got back and didn't say exactly what I saw. I just asked them if there were any big dogs or wolves up where they lived. My father-in-law just laughed and said no. Then asked why. I didn't say anything. The thing I will never forget is the reddish-orange eyes that just kept staring at me. Tony Wilkins. Late evening, fall of 2000. The second encounter happened in Broome County, New York. I had just arrived home a few minutes after dark after visiting my parents. Our location is rural, but we do have a few neighbors within shouting distance of us. We have 33 acres of mixed forest and fields with lots of thick brush consisting mostly of briars. I had my two young children with me in my Jeep, ages 2 years old and 11 months. When I pulled in the driveway that night, my husband was working late with an emergency case. It was near fully dark when I arrived home. As soon as I stepped out of my vehicle, I felt creeped out. It felt different outside. We have lots of peepers and crickets that would normally be making lots of noise. Even the birds are usually chirping until an hour more past dark. This time there wasn't a sound. It was a very warm evening, so the peepers should have been in full chorus. Because of my uneasy feeling, I was rushing to get the kids in the house at the same time and did not want to leave RJ in the car alone for a minute, as I routinely do. He and our older daughter, who was asleep, are normally too heavy for me to carry together at the same time. That night, though, I grabbed both of them, one in each arm, after finding my keys to the front door, and carried them both. Usually I would use the auto garage door, however, the opener didn't work. When I reached the front door at the top of the stairs and got situated on the front porch, I put down Angelina in order to open the front door. As soon as I turned my attention back to the front door, it happened. Somewhere to the left came a sound that will forever be seared in my memory. It started low and slowly increased to a moderately loud growl. It was deep-toned and very guttural, and was angry and hateful in character. It was nothing like anything I had ever heard before, but it did sound canine in origin, especially after spending an hour listening to various animal growls. The growl continued for approximately 10 seconds. I was so terrified I was fumbling with my keys. It really felt like I was dropped in an 80s horror film. I really didn't think I was going to die. I was sure any second the thing making this sound was going to pounce upon me and my children and eat us right on the spot. The growl sounded as though the creature was standing just off to the left of me. I refused to look out in fear of what I would see. It sounded so close and at or even above eye level with me. My porch extends another 5 feet to the left, then off the porch is the front of the house. There is 35 yards of grass to the edge of the tree line, and there's a field with 2-foot tall grass opposite of that. There also is a small shed between our porch and tree line. Standing on the front porch from my head to the ground is approximately 9 feet, so I assume it was standing near the corner of the house. I had never been so afraid until a few moments later when it actually spoke to me. As the growl continued, it seemed to melt into an audible word, spoken in a very deep and gruff tone that seemed to have a rough sort of reverberation quality to them. What I heard, as clear as day, was, "You can't get in." The only word that I was unsure of is the first "you." As the sound of the growl transitioned to English words, and it sounded more like "yah." Now I was hysterical and dropped the keys. Finally, I got the right one in and got the door open and got in. I had to kick my daughter through the door regretfully. Strangely, she seemed oblivious to what had just transpired, as if she didn't hear it. I slammed the door shut and never looked. I didn't hear anything else that night. I called my husband and his friend to let them know what had just happened, so I never actually did see what terrorized me because I couldn't look. I've had 2 days to think about this encounter and talk with my husband, who has read about Dogman encounters. I'm fairly certain that this is what was growling at me. The sound was not human and seemed like it was amped or mic'd up because it was so powerful. Not that it was a loud growl, but it seemed unnatural. Also, the height it seemed to emanate from, the silent and preceded it led me to the conclusion. My husband agrees because the entire week he had also been on edge. We have lived here for a year, and all seemed normal until this week. Our cat, which is an indoor cat, got out accidentally and has vanished without a trace. She has gotten out before and just stood around until we get back to the house. Also, my husband said Tuesday night he experienced the silence outside, and it really unnerved him also. He says he's never experienced anything so eerie. On Wednesday, he took our dog up into the woods to look for our cat and felt very uneasy. He said the dog kept tucking its tail and turning around, wanting to go home. It's not like our dog or my husband to feel uneasy in the woods, because both of them really love the outdoors and are very comfortable in nature. On Thursday at dark, he took the dog around the back lot and says something took off from the thickets at a sprint and came crashing through the woods down the hill towards him. He always carries a sidearm when he is out and is normally not afraid of anything, but he actually turned and ran back towards the house. Whatever was charging stopped seconds after he stopped to listen and did not make another sound. He was very concerned when he came in, stating that he knows what big game sounds like and that was not big game, and whatever that is not right. Even he was surprised that he ran from a sound. The following day was when my encounter happened. After talking about all of these events with my husband, we are concerned that there is a dogman in our area. My husband is so worried that this thing has decided to stalk one or both of our kids. My husband said it sounds like the dogman plans ahead when snatching kids, and he thinks it may be scouting the area with plans to do just that. He said it was doing that, or that it was waiting for me to leave one of the kids in the Jeep for a minute. Either way, none of this is good. The main reason why I wanted to submit this was because it seems very unique in that it spoke to me. It wasn't the words, but the feeling it gave me that disturbed me the most. It was as if it was trying to give me the impression that I was nothing and that I was weak and just food. I got the impression that it was saying, "Can't get in?" Like, "Ha ha ha, you're mine." It's hard to explain because it seemed like it was conveying its frame of mind, and that it was, for lack of better description, making fun of me in a very cruel way. Anonymous, 8 p.m., 4/22/2016. I hope you enjoyed these 2 Dogman encounters of upstate New York. I plan on having another video out soon, a couple days from now, from one of my favorite authors, Tobias Wade. And like I said at the beginning, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up and a comment. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks, guys.